Every time I show somebody like you guys around, I'm a little surprised by the size of it. We started with a small building on Barlow Trail. I think it was 1,200 square feet. And then we bought the building north of that. We call it Big Rock, and then Bigger Rock. And then we bought the building south of that, Big Rock. And then we tried to buy the building behind. They wouldn't sell it, so we bought 14 acres here. Here we are. It's named after a big glacial erratic close to Locatos. And I thought that was a bit like us. We're an odd thing out in the middle of the prairies. You know, a small brewery, unheard of, unique.
One of the photos that's on the wall of my father's office is a black and white photograph of Mount Robson and my father standing at the edge of the lake holding an oar. It captures the kind of adventurous spirit that my father has. That's standing alone, it's standing out there and ready for whatever challenge.
Well, Ed didn't start Big Rock until he was 60.
He was a journalist.
He ran 2 big trucking companies in Alaska, the Jade Mine in BC, parking structures.
I was a lawyer, and then I got in the cattle business.
Had a marvelous adventure doing that, and then decided that really he should do something that Alberta really needed, Canada really needed, a good plain beer.
When I started to try to raise some money around Calgary, unanimously they told me, well, there's all the beer we want around here, and I said, there's no beer around here.
The banks just looked at him like he was from Mars.
Everybody said he was mad, you know, competing against all the majors. I mean, it was nuts, but he went ahead and he did it.
Well, one of my first directors was a guy called Bob Hartley, who had a ranch down here. And he took some of the first beer we made, which was a bitter, and it was bitter. It was quite a shock to the average Canadian Calgary beer drinker.
When they came and tasted it, they found it, yeah, it's different. So I had no idea what it meant then. I had to learn it later. Different was not very positive.
He took it down and gave it to the cowboys, and he noticed the cowboys were pouring it down the gopher holes. And Bob said, maybe you'll be able to sell it as gopher poison.
I think one of the things that makes him such a success as a businessman is his love of people. And he's constantly meeting people. He's fascinated with their special quality, what their strengths are.
He decided to hire me as a salesman. Well, anyway, when we started out, I was a founding shareholder with a few other guys. McNally said, with my Irish bullshit, I should be able to sell beer. And so that was it.
You're only as good as your weakest link. And I think that's one of my father's recognizes is he's great, but then he has all these great people around him who he pulls from to strengthen the chain. And it's marvelous.
Well, the first time I met her, she was having a party down at the farm. She was standing there when I got out of the car. I can still, it's like a photograph in my mind. When she went to university, I shot a duck and plucked it and cleaned it and roasted it and sent it down to her in a shoebox.
And it was all cooked and arrived in the mail, and by the grace of God, it wasn't rotten. And my friends just were saying, who is this character that seems to just hit the right thing?
My parents are both full bore, full steam ahead. They paint with a broad brush. They've got tremendous energy. They seem to inspire each other.
A great part of the success of this brewery is directly attributable to Linda.
My mother, having been a nurse, we support the nursing school at the University of Lethbridge. So it's sort of in her honor.
Since he's done that, we've had letters from recipients of that scholarship just saying what a difference it made. And to be able to impact so positively something like that in someone's life at that critical stage, you know, for him is just a great personal pleasure.
He's had all sorts of awards, you know, PhDs and honorary degrees and business awards, but he was also made a member of the Order of Canada. And he got that award for the work he did with the community and his contribution to the arts.
I think one of the things that we've done for the city is the Eddies, because that has involved more than 10,000 people who have creative ideas, and it gave them a chance to go and do something.
I guess in a nutshell, my father's legacy is a commitment to excellence.
To thine own self be true would be what you could learn from Ed. It's who you are as an individual that really, at the end of the day, matters, and I think that's what my father stands for.
He's very much himself, and that makes me proud.
If people say you can't do it, that's the first sign you're on the right track.